I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price.
Welcome to the Hustle Island Podcast, episode number 8. Real hustlers, real stories. Today we welcome the producer and co-host of The Hub Show and owner of Exponent. He's a one-man band.
I am.
Hey, Heich.
Man,
Welcome to the program, man.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, my friend? How are you?
Mike. I'm good. Here we are.
So tell me about yourself. Give me the quick rundown of The Hub Show, Exponent USA. We want to hear it all.
Well, there. Let's start with Exponent USA. I've been in the trade show industry for the last 20 years. I spent the first 6 of those years in working for one of the world's largest trade shows, the Magic Show. It's all clothes and apparel. And then I went to the world of, jumped over the fence to the world of selling displays and graphics to people going to conventions. And I did that for several companies on the West Coast. And then when I moved to the East Coast, I said, let me take a crack at this by myself. And for the last 5 years, I've owned Exponent USA, e-commerce website. And I'm invested in 2 of the main facilities, one on each coast. And I got really well connected throughout the country. Like when you need stuff, like quick hurry, give me a buzz. I got connections. I make things happen. The banner stands, the backdrops, the hanging signs, all that good stuff. Yeah. That's me. Yeah.
So when I go to an event, say if I go to UFC, there's a UFC fight on this weekend. If I go there and I see that backdrop to their weigh-in, that's you. You're the guy who's producing that stuff.
I'm the guy that can. I'm not necessarily the guy that made that, but I can. That's the stuff I do make. And I work with companies like Macy's, BAE Systems. I've done stuff for Disney. I've done stuff for the U.S. Army. I've shipped all over the place. So,
how'd you get into that?
Well, like I said, I was in the trade show industry. Then I got, I jumped the fence, started working for people who actually make the displays and graphics and learned the ins and outs and the logistics of everything. And, I'm that guy that a lot of people call me from Canada. They call me from overseas. They got to get stuff to a show in New York or LA or Orlando or wherever, Vegas, of course, a big spot. And I make things happen for them, turn it around with it. Yeah.
That's it. You're the guy who makes things happen.
I make things happen, man. Yeah.
Let me ask you about this, the Hub Show. Give us the rundown. Give us the plug.
Okay. Well, I joined the Chamber of Commerce in my local town here of Hagerstown, Maryland. Again, I'm from Los Angeles. And I joined the chamber with Exponent USA, and I got a little bored. I said, what a better way to meet people, right? No one around here is doing anything like it. I listened to a couple of podcasts, including the Adam Carolla Show. So I started this thing called the Hub Show. And, when people see you with microphones and stuff like that, they get curious. And now a year later, I've got 2 co-hosts. I got a couple people locally sponsoring it, but I focus the Hub Show not so much to the city, but to the region. So I like to say I cover D.C., Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Philly, New York, and all points in between. But we've got listeners in France, Ireland, out in California and Texas. It's kind of, we're getting somewhere with it, I think. So, it's kind of hard to measure the metrics of podcasts yet, but.
Really? So what's the premise of the show?
Everything and nothing. That's the tagline. I mean, it's just an open concept. I mean, a lot of people I know, I struggle with that because a lot of people I know listen to podcasts for specific subjects and topics, finance, cybersecurity, whatnot. So I've had people on from all different industries and walks of life. We've done full sports shows. We've had wrestlers on. We've gone to Comic Cons and set up with my backdrops, right, for the Hub Show. But we've gone to Comic Cons. I've interviewed Fred the Hammer Williamson and Eric Roberts was on our show a month and a half ago. So people like that. But then I get a lot of local people around here trying to hustle stuff. Like here you guys are too. And they come on and talk about what they do, how they do it, like you're doing for me. And that's just it. I have no definition whatsoever to the Hub Show. Just it's the center of the universe. That's all I call it. So whatever it means, man.
Center of the universe. It's a little bit of everything and nothing. It's like Seinfeld.
I just try to give some people in this small town a little bit of a rub. Like there's a roller derby league, right? Roller derby. I said, hey, let me go there. They love me, man. We show up and we do a podcast with a roller derby in the background. We're talking about other stuff over here, but in the background, there's, elbows flying and girls on skates and stuff. And we support them and they love us, and there's exposure for us. It's all about branding, right? So there you go.
I remember being a kid watching the roller derby. I haven't seen
Right?
the roller derby
I
in
hadn't either. I said, there's
years.
really a roller derby? But yeah, there's a lot of leagues around here, around the country. It's still a
Really?
yeah, I thought so too. And there they are. Chicks got elbow pads, knee pads, the helmets.
Just going around that
They're
rink,
smashing each
just
other. I
smashing
ain't
each
kidding,
other,
man.
just
Yeah,
all for the win,
a
huh?
lot of those podcasts are a lot of oh and ooh and ah because the girls are getting knocked down and stuff. Yeah, like bowling pins, man.
Yeah, I bet you
Good
kind of get
times.
into it. Like in the end there too, you're probably like, oh my goodness. Oh,
We get the players on. They kind of educate us on what the rules are. You do you have any idea what the rules of roller derby are? I don't,
I
right?
have no
But now
idea.
we know. Now I know what a jammer is and what a panty pass is, whatever. But we get talking to these girls who gave us the lowdown, gave us the scoop, and now we know. And 3 shows, we did that 3 times, and then the 3rd show we had a down pat. We knew what we were talking about.
I would
Right.
love to jump in on that, like just a roller derby and be
Just to
like,
see it.
I mean, I got to get into this. I might even like start commentating.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, but who wants to listen to a roller derby on a podcast?
I don't
But it's
know.
funny because we'll go back to the action, then go back to talking about whatever's on our plate. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So the latest show,
Yeah.
did you have someone on who was talking about like essential oils and diffuser and
Yeah, she Jen Silbert. She's local around here.
okay?
I'm in Hagerstown, Maryland. It's literally less than an hour from DC and Baltimore without the traffic. You know how that goes, right? Traffic.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're like northwest of it. We're like 10 minutes from the Pennsylvania border, the Mason-Dixon line. So there's all that. Yeah, she's local. She's around here. She's an instructor at the community college. So she came on a year ago with me, one of my first guests, and did aromatherapy. Talked about that. And then she got into sleep therapy. So last night she came back on our show and we talked about that. There you go. Slumber.
Sleep therapy.
Sleep.
They say sleep is like the cure of a lot of different things, and especially if you add those essential oils. I actually own a diffuser, so I
Oh,
actually,
dude, she knows what's up,
do.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was
Yeah,
showing us
so-
all. She was showing us all that stuff, man. So it was, it was interesting.
Those essential oils are expensive. That's got
Yeah.
to be a lucrative business.
Yeah, she has this case of like 70 different oils in it. It's like a crayon box when she opens this thing, man. And there's everything in there: peppermint, frankincense, and myrrh. You actually get to figure out what that is, from biblical, and stories and whatnot. But yeah, she's got all this stuff, and they're all one's good for this, one good for that, one's good for sleeping. CBT oils in there. Hey, whatever. But
You say CBD?
CBT, it's supposed to be a replacement for the the marijuana high. There's actually an oil
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind of goes down that path.
Yeah, I mean, we can sit here and I mean, this is like your show right here. We can go down that road if you
Well,
want to.
I'm not
man.
the expert on it, though. Yeah. But
Yeah, no, that's a CBD. Like that's a whole other business in its own right.
I was smelling all of them last night, just having a good old time, man. Off, so yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me about your childhood, man. Like what were some of your goals when you were growing up?
I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
I wanted to get in that business. I went out to LA after I was a military brat, and then I was in the military myself. I was in the U.S. Army for
Okay.
a couple of years, and this is all in the 90s. Then I went out to LA, and I started doing all the extra work on the improv classes and whatnot. And then my wife and I, life happened. She came home, had one in the oven, so I had to go get a real job. And so I spent the remainder of the time in LA, working. That's why I got into the trade show industry. But it is what it is. Who knows? I might get back on get the bug back to go back out there and try it. But
you never know.
You never know.
How was it going? Yeah. Okay. You're an actor. You have to do some improv stuff. Like
yeah,
you're like, all right, I got to go.
grind, man.
Yeah. There's a show that you might be able to get on. Like,
Well, this is in like 1997. This is before the internet even actually really blew up. This is before IMBD really. So this is like way in the mid to late 90s. So I was out there still using a Thomas guide map to get to my locations for the movie shoots. We didn't have GPS. We didn't have a cell phone yet. We weren't talking about that. I had a pager. There you go. It was a different time, man. So it is what it is.
What are some of the roles that you had as an actor?
I didn't have a lot of. I got nothing to brag about. It was all extra work. Seriously.
Okay. What were you in a commercial? Were you?
I was in some foreign movies, movies that probably got released over in Germany and elsewhere. But the casting agency was like, "Hey, can you go here, and then you might be there all day. Just bring these set of clothes. It's a prison yard. Make sure you're wearing all blue, all dungarees like a Shawshank redemption type thing. And I would go out there and spend the whole day on set doing scene after scene and take after take. And I got to see it. I got to work with Roy Scheider. He's the guy, Chief Brody from Jaws. You know, he's passed, rest in peace. I got to, you know, shoulder to shoulder with him. Didn't really talk to him much, but I was an extra in his movie.
That's cool.
Little things like that. And I did improv work. I did a couple of clubs around the valley, around the Hollywood area that, you know, taught improv and whatnot. Took a lot of, I was like getting into the mix, you know, really trying to get in there. I also like to write. I was trying to write stuff and whatnot. Just, like I said, life happened. Like that's what a lot of people move out there and then, you know.
It gets real. Like you said, it's a grind.
Real, and I had to take care of business, man. So I did what I did.
It's like anything in life. Like you think like, all right, I'm going to go out and be a Hollywood actor, but it's a hustle. It's a grind.
Serious hustle.
You got to, it probably got really tough. And when it gets tough, you got a choice to make. Either you can quit or you can.
It's crazy because like 20 years later, I still pay attention to the industry. Who doesn't? It's all in our face every day, right? But, you know, now with the influx of, you know, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, they're all making their own shows now. There's a lot more work than there was 20 years ago or 10 years ago even. It's not just about the networks anymore. HBO makes all their own stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So the world's changed in that aspect. So who knows? I go back out there, it's probably a lot more work than it was 20 years ago anyway. So who knows?
Now when you say, you talked about like the improv stuff, now that's, you'd have to get on stage and
improvise, man. They just throw you a subject and you and a group of people got to roll with it and play off each other. It's a lot of trust, you know. You got to be on the same vibe as the rest of the guys. You know, it's really easy to get off of it. So it's really easy to crack up in the middle of it too. You know.
Did you have anything like that when like just like way off the cuff, like that was just crazy?
Yeah, I broke into I forget what the plot was. I had to break into theme songs. Like from TV, they threw stuff at you had to do, and like at the top of your head. And I was like singing like the theme of the Muppet Show and everything else up there on stage. It was just crazy, dude. But just lost my mind, man. You know, you had to make up characters on the fly and all kinds of stuff. So it's just weird. Good times though, you know.
Let's fast forward to technology nowadays.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, I know, you know, everyone in the Hustle Island group. We're going to kind of segue into that. Going live, doing videos nowadays, Instagram, Facebook, whatever other outlets someone might have. How hard was it to go live in the improv? And how about now, even with your show, the Hub Show, when it's like, all right, we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How hard is that?
Oh, it's not hard. It's not hard. I make sure I'm a little prepared with the Hub Show. Like I know who my guest is coming on, and I get my other 2 co-hosts up to speed, and I have bullets, you know. And, you know, like you and I talking right now, you bring up one subject, you could spend a half hour talking about that one thing. You got to control yourself to drift off, you know. Next thing you know, you get a half hour down already. You haven't even talked about the rest of the stuff. So, you know, that's been a lot of the doing the podcast, and in general has been disciplining myself to, you know, watch the time, keep it down to my shows are no more than an hour and 15 minutes. And I don't want to make them any longer than that. So, you know, we don't want to bore you, you know.
Yeah,
so.
that's the, you don't lose your audience.
Yeah.
That's sometimes like even with this podcast, I've had some discussions where they just go and it's like you don't want to stop it, but like you like
you have to. Yeah,
have to. You kind of got to like rein them in and be like, hey, we're going.
I guess that's how. Look, you know, we can bring it back on again, continue this conversation because I'm not going anywhere. You know, so I'll have you on next month. You know, so.
But that's the thing. Like sometimes when you get into something deep and like you don't want to into someone's personal life and they start to like really open up, you're like, I don't know if we want to stop here.
Yeah. Or my shows, I just dropped it. My shows are all they're all taped. Like last night we recorded the one about the sleep therapy and all that, and I was up till midnight. And this morning finishing up the editing, then I put it up on my host, and it goes around the world on iTunes and everywhere else. iHeartRadio, Spotify, it's all out there, and I just sit back and see what kind of traction it gets, you know. So, who actually listens? I don't know.
So, yeah, well, that's the hard part. Like you're like, all right, you're putting this show together. You've got this content. You have co-host. You have guests.
Yeah. And
you put it out there, and it's just like, all right, like what's the vision like for your show?
Well, one thing we concentrate on getting in, we get a lot of local comics, from the vicinity, and I figure let's give them a platform because, like you, like the Hustle Island Club, these guys need to be seen. They're selling something, you know what I mean? Absolutely. They want to have video, they want to have audio themselves, so they can part of their catalog, part of their portfolio, so to speak. So I love bringing on the comics. I've had one guy come on, he keeps bringing me other comics. So he's been feeding them to me. This is great,
Yeah.
I mean, sleep therapy is a cool thing to talk about. I ain't gonna talk about it every week, you know what I mean? And myself and my co-hosts especially, we can laugh the way you and I are laughing. So we can have a cool conversation and make light of stuff when it gets a little too dark, you know what I mean? And bring the conversation back. Really good at ad-libbing on the spot. That's what I love my co-host for. I mean, my co-host Chris will just throw things out there against sleep therapy and just liven up the whole conversation just with a joke, you know what I mean? So that's what you gotta do. So
That's the thing, sleep therapy. I mean, I'm pretty sure they talked about different types of sleep you get and quality sleep and what sleep can do.
REM sleep and this and that. Things you think but till you really look at it, you're like, wow, really? I'm doing it all wrong.
Sleep is really important just in terms of like your overall like long-term health. Like people don't realize that, like
as I learned last night. Yeah.
What it could prevent is like it'll blow your mind away. You'll be like, what? Wait, if I don't get enough sleep now?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think some of it's subjective though. I think each person has their own. They can handle things that I can't handle and vice versa.
Well,
like some people feel they need 8 hours of sleep. I'm fine on 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they insist you have to have 8. Like, I don't know. There's business tycoons. There's businessmen out there who live off of 4, 5 max. Because they're constantly going and going.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. I mean, there are different time zones out there in this world. And if you're a businessman and you got to make a call to someone, I don't know, out in China, you
But I mean, if you're the top of a company, you're running it. I mean, you're constantly in that mode. You know what I mean? That's the thing. They're saying that's not good for you, but these guys are in their 60s, 70s. They're still going. They're still cranking. So
that's the grind and hustle.
That's the grind, the hustle, right?
Let me ask you this: how'd you find Hustle Island?
How did I find it? I haven't been part of it very long. It was recent. Like it was in the last couple of months. I think I caught the T-shirt ad. the post for the T-shirt. Yeah, well, I got that one too. But I got the hustle. I'm not wearing it right now, but I got the legacy and the hustle. So I saw that and I looked into it. I said, what's this guy trying to give me a shirt for? And dove into it, figured it out, and I liked what I saw. I liked the vibe. Like everybody else was there. I liked the vibe. It's a little community to itself. That's pretty cool. And I like Greg's advice. I do my best to take it. I'm slow, but I'm getting there. So.
Well, that's what he's got a lot of great ideas with his calls, and he did a live video today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's getting into some more stuff that he's started to more content he's going to start developing, which was very helpful for entrepreneurs, would-be entrepreneurs, and people who are in the business world and people who are trying to figure it out. And I think that's the whole premise of the Hustle Island is it's a platform for people to come in, and you could be around like-minded individuals. And if you have an issue or a problem, or if you want to help other people with their business, it gives you an outlet.
I understand. It's a chamber of commerce to itself. But I find that people there are more like me, a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of 1- and 2-man operations, which is, I need to be a part of that. Because I mean, I'm sure I don't know. I'm sure most of them are the same way. You're up against trying to sell to some companies that are larger and whatnot, and they don't, it's hard to explain. You know what I mean? So,
well, let me ask you about that. So, I mean, you started your own company. Like, someone want to say, for instance, I want to start my own company. What advice would you give me? The first piece of advice.
Roll with the punches. There's going to be lots of them. It's a roller coaster ride. Expect it. It's been I'm 45 years old. It's been an education, man. It tests you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have your ups and downs. And, I don't know. I just think keep your head up. Like everyone at Hustle Island talked about. You just got to keep your head up, keep grinding, keep going. You got to figure out a way to stand out from the competition, which there's a lot of for every industry you're in, right? Everyone's got competition. With the internet, it's just nuts, right?
Yeah, it's its own beast.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. There's somebody out there doing it too. You know what I mean? So, but
well, how do you stay on that hustle when you know that there's other people out there doing what you're doing?
Fear. When you're working for yourself, you know what I mean? This is that fear over your shoulder, man.
It's a motivator.
I got to hit a certain nut every month, and if I don't, it's going to put me back. That's the fear. I have a family. I'm a wife. I got bills. We all do, right? So it's that fear right here.
But
me.
Why do you say that? Is it fear that it's the motivator for you,
It's
or
the
there?
motivator for me. Not just that, I like being in my own business. I've worked for other people. I like the there's freedom to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, I can actually, if I'm not getting along with a customer, and this is very few and far between, but I can actually say, I don't really want to work with you. You know what I mean? I like that freedom. Well, you really couldn't do that if you're working for somebody. You really have to explain yourself. You know what I mean? But if you were to bump heads with somebody and you really just, they're wasting your time, then you can, as a, working for yourself, you can just say, hey, you know what? Come back on me when you really want to buy something. I go through that a lot. I got a lot of repeat customers. That's what's keeping me alive here.
Absolutely.
Referrals and repeat customers. So
How
yeah.
about in business? I mean, you probably have faced adversity. You'll probably face adversity again. What's some of the
Yeah. That's
biggest?
the punches, right?
Yeah, what are some of the biggest things that you've gone through as a business owner?
Um, the biggest things I've gone through, it's getting it right. I know I'm new to the Hustle Island thing, so learning Greg's methods and whatnot, and the whole bit about the website. So I'm trying to make that what's it called, the
Pinhole
pinhole
funnel.
funnel, right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm in the middle of working on. I haven't gotten it yet. I'm working on it. So I had this website, Exponet USA. I'm proud of. It's been mine. I built it 7 years ago and took it off 5 years ago. Stepped out when I came to the East Coast and really pushed it. Um, and it's been a lot of cold calling, cold emailing, that kind of thing. I don't got a lot of money. I know some of my competitors got tons of money to spend on pay per click and all that stuff, and I'm a month or 2 month to 2 month kind of operation. Some months are better than others, and I just got to keep afloat. You know what I mean? So
Well, I can tell you, you've landed on the right island because
I hope so.
there's a lot of people in the group who can help you with,
No,
the
I know.
different areas in
I mean,
your website, like in
yeah.
growing it and growing the the traffic and
That's my
bringing
biggest. That's
business in like that, like I know the
mm,
Facebook marketing and
yeah, there's just so many ways of marketing nowadays. That's what it is. That's the big challenge,
I
especially
should say
for
I should say internet marketing. I shouldn't say
let's just call
things.
it that. But even the social media marketing, I'm still. I gotta be honest, man. As someone who's tried and dipped my toe in a lot of these things, maybe I'm just impatient. It's because of the fear factor. Do I spend my money here? Do I spend my money there? And what if it doesn't work out? I've wasted my money. I think as entrepreneurs, we all waste a lot of money trying to figure out what works, and I'm still trying to figure out what works.
Well, I tell you, there's some people in
Yeah,
the group you should connect with. Troy Erickson, and I'll send you these guys' names.
yeah.
Jason Wojo, Wanima's really good. She has her own company, Do Brave. She did the first Hustle Island podcast. She's got a really good story, and
Hmm.
her company's starting to really take off. And her, you go to her website and you'll be blown away. You'll be like, wow, what? I mean, you
Hmm.
built this. If she built it on her own, then she's self-taught,
What does
and
she do?
she has a company called Do Brave,
Yeah.
and they sell. She's got shirts that it's
Hmm.
a motto. Like she has a backstory where she had PTSD,
Really?
and she's overcome that, still overcoming it. But her whole motto about this company is, "Hey, I want you to do brave, and I want you to think differently." And the platform that she has is unbelievable. So you should definitely check her
No, I'm
website
with
out.
you. That's why I'm in this hustle island. I saw Greg's videos. I've watched a couple of them. I see the things that get posted online. It's like, it's motivating. And I got to be around like-minded people in order to
That
keep the thing, hustling. So
that's it.
we all do, right? So,
That's it. That's it. What else motivates you?
uh, um, freedom, man. It's the freedom of being your own business, man. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Being in business for yourself is motivating, dude. Not having to answer somebody except for my customers is the most motivating thing to me, man. You know, um, if I go on a vacation, I mean, like I think a lot of us work, our office is here as well, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's the beauty of having an e-commerce site. We can go on a vacation to Florida, wherever we go, but I can be on the phone on the drive down, or on the beach or by the pool. I just got to step away for 10 minutes and make sure some stuff got delivered, and then boom, I'm back. Back. It's a pro and con, right? I'm always working, but at the same time, I can do it at the pool or next to the pool. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm not strapped down to someone's cubicle. I don't miss those days. The
it's
cubicle
kind of
farm.
it's kind of like you control your own destiny. So if you
That's what I'm
want to,
saying. That's what I want. I don't want to. I don't. My biggest fear, besides that thing pushing me to go make the sales, My biggest fear is having to go back and work for somebody else. Honest to God, that's my biggest fear. I just want to work for my customers, and that's it. I don't want to work for someone where I got to play their stupid games and, and answer to them. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 20 years now. So,
Let me ask you this. What brought you to the point of being like, I want to work, for myself? Maybe do you ever want to have any employees under you? I'm pretty sure, you want to grow your business where it
I want to
takes
grow.
off.
No, I listen, I'm not complaining. I'm sitting here with you right now 5 years later because my business is still strong. It's still good. You know what I mean? I'm surviving. I'm good to go. I make as much, if not a little bit more than I made when I was working for somebody else. So that's where to me, it could be a lot better. But to me, if I can keep on maintaining that, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not working for anybody else but you, the customer. So, but yeah, I mean, that's all it is, man. I mean, it's just it. That's all it is. I just want to help my customer. I did what I'm doing now for 2 other companies back in LA. I learned how they operate their e-commerce business and whatnot. I'm not going to say any names, but I helped build their business. And by doing that and seeing how it's done, I was able to build my own. And, but again, I had to answer to them and this and that. And I felt like I was answering the phones on the weekends for these customers who I really wanted to help. But, I wasn't really doing that for myself. I was doing it for this company. And sometimes I felt like I was doing more than I should be, but I don't want to let these customers down. You know what I mean? So when I moved back east, my wife's job moved us back east. I said, let me take a stab at this, myself. I did it pretty well for 2 other people. Let me try it myself. So 5 years ago, I started Exponent USA, and here I am. Here I am, still hustling, still staying afloat. I ain't complaining. So I'm proud of it. I'm proud of myself. Like I said, I got a lot of repeat customers, people that get referred to me. They like the way I work. Again, I'm that guy I'll answer the phone on Saturday. If you need some help with something, need help setting up your display, I'll do my best I can. I've met people down here at the Gaylord Center in DC, out in Baltimore. I've been in Vegas. When I was in LA, I used to go down to the LA Convention Center and help deliver my clients their stuff. If they order that thing on Thursday, I'd be down there Saturday morning. Here's your stuff. I'm put a face to the order. A face to the company, not just some anonymous person you talk to back on the website or whatever,
Well, that's you're a one-man band, and it seems like you're a man of the customer, a man of the people. What is that like your motto, being like, I'm going to be the guy who's going to take care of you?
That's it. I'm going to be the guy. That's just it. I mean, I'm not, Murphy's Law comes into play a lot of times, a couple of times, but things happen between shipping and this and that. But I'm the guy to call, when things are going awry, give me a call. I'll do my best to fix it. Kind of like the wolf on Pulp Fiction. That guy,
Yeah. I like that.
I'm
you call the wolf?
You calling the wolf? Yeah.
Oh,
I can't promise you.
I
can't promise you I can solve the issue. I mean, if it's Saturday, you want something on Sunday. Let's be honest. But if it's Thursday night and you got something going on this weekend, East Coast or West Coast, I can make things happen. You know what I mean? So
I like that. You said the wolf. Oh, you calling Jay? Oh. Say no more.
That's it. Hold my cup of coffee if I had it here, man.
How about what else? What else inspires you? Do you have like quotes, books that you read, movies that you watch?
The wolf. No, I was kidding. No, man. Lots. I get inspired looking at the Hustle Island. I'm not just saying that. I look at that every morning now that I'm part of it, because I see other people are doing what I'm doing as well in their own way, they got their own business, obviously. You know what I mean? So I'm not alone. Just knowing that you're not alone in this whole entrepreneurial thing. It can be lonely, as a lot of people out there know, when you're working by yourself,
Yeah, no, it's lonely. There's probably some like lonely days, lonely nights where you just sometimes you just think and you're just like,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's really weird. I'm really good friends with a lot of people I never met face to face. That's the beauty of the internet, the world we live in, right? I've had customers that have been my customers for the whole 5 years. Some of them a little bit longer. They found me from the companies I used to work for through LinkedIn or whatever else, and said, hey, they miss working with me, and they became my customer. Lucky me, right? And I don't know these people very well. I don't know them face to face, but we know each other for half a decade now, and we're like friends. They call me Jay and all that good stuff, and we send Christmas cards and stuff. So I mean, it's like that. This is weird. I'm not. When I say I'm a one-man band, I have a little bit of a network of people. Like, I'm not a graphic designer.
Okay.
But I got 3 people I rely on around the country who are freelancers. You know what I mean? But they're good. I vetted them. I got one up in New York. I got one out in LA. I got somebody in the Midwest. All to me, it's all about timing. If I can connect that person on the East Coast with my girl in New York, she's a night owl. She works until 2 o'clock in the morning. Why? I don't know. But that's how she likes to work. She gets people's stuff done. Same thing on the West Coast. I got a guy out there he's like us, right? He's behind the computer all day long and likes doing it like that, by himself, for his customers. And so I put that connection together with these people, and then we make things happen. And I got a couple people who represent Exponet out there. 2 on the West Coast, 1 in the Utah area. You know, they find me customers and whatnot. You know, we have a good little sweet little deal worked out, and everyone's happy. So, you know, there we go. You know, the big gorilla.
Why the gorilla? Why that as your logo?
I don't know. I like the gorilla. I like the big elephant in the room. I was thinking of something, you know what I mean? Something cute. Not cute, but you know, but this is strength. I could have used a lion, but I like the gorilla. There's more personality to it, you know, with the face and the fists. You know, it's power, right?
Power.
I like the power thing.
Power,
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah. I have a couple ads with the gorilla below that says "Own the show," big letters. Own the show. You know, stand out. You know, you got 1,000 other customers, exhibitors around you. I'm here to help you stand out. You know, so
That's the thing. I think whatever you do,
Mhm.
whatever if you're at a show or you're putting your products out there, what are you doing to separate yourself?
That's the key. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Especially if you're in like if everyone on your row is in the same industry, basically selling the same stuff, you gotta stand out. You know, whether you gotta put some lights in your display, you gotta put some monitors up, you know,
Let's look.
models, whatever.
Why Exponent USA? Why?
I don't know. It is a bit of a mouthful, but you mean why the name? Well,
Why go with your company?
because I take care of you. That's why. That's why. You're in good hands. I can't say that. It's already taken. But that's basically it. I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? When you need that retractable banner stand or that table throw or that backdrop, you know what I mean? And it's Tuesday and your event's coming up on Friday or Thursday, whether you're going to Vegas, whether you're going to LA, whether you're going to New York or Orlando, give me a buzz. We'll make it happen. And I'm not going to rape you for your marketing budget either. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bend you over the barrel. All these high. That's the whole point of me being connected around the country. I ain't going to cost you a whole bunch in shipping fees and everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The wolf. Try to fix things, man. Trust me. I take care of a lot of those situations for some big companies too.
Tell me about a Comic-Con. I've never been to a Comic-Con. What are those like?
Those are crazy, man. I've been to the New York Comic-Con. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con. And I go to some of these local ones around here. I've been to Baltimore. It's kind of oversaturated, that industry, man. But people keep showing up at these things. It's a costume party is what it is, man. You've heard of cosplay, right? These are cosplay. COSPLAY, cosplayers. These are the kids and the adults, a lot of adults who show up at these Comic-Cons dressed as their hero or whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
Some girls get Wonder Woman right. Some girls don't. Okay, let's put it that way. But they try. Some dudes get Thor right. Some dudes don't. You know what I'm saying? But some people go all out and put these costumes on, and it's nuts. They're really good at it. And I've had them on my podcast at the Comic-Con. I'm like, you know, you're a grown adult. Why do you want to spend your weekend dressed as, you know, whoever it is you dressed up as? And, you know, they give me a whole breakdown and explanation of why they do it. And yeah, it's a different world we live in, man.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, what's your typical answer?
To them it's an art form, and it's about using your imagination and blah blah blah. But you know, and for a day or two, you could step out of yourself and be somebody else. I'm like, I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking the same thing, but I gotta be nice to them. They're on my podcast. I'm like, but you're still you, okay? You get pulled over. They ain't pulling over Betty Rubble. They're pulling you over. You know what I'm saying?
Do you ever ask them, like, what do you do for a living? Or
the one I can send you some pictures, man. I can show you some stuff. This one girl, she came in and got interviewed by us. She's really good. Every day at this Comic-Con, she was dressed up in 4 different costumes, and she was really good. Like, she really looked the parts. And she's an art teacher, you know, at a high school or junior high or something like that. So that's her art, right? There you go. And she literally has, according to her husband who was there with them, she has a whole basement full of different costumes and whatnot. So I'm like you. It's still a mystery to me. What makes you want to,
Yeah, like
But
that.
she's always putting up pictures on Instagram of I swear, every other day, she's somebody else. She's dressed up as this. She's dressed up as anime. She's dressed up as, yeah. And it's like, okay.
I guess you really can't knock the hustle because that's like someone's like passion, but you like
That's
it comes with a stereotype.
That's the word they get thrown at me a lot. Oh, it's a passion. It's a passion to be a part of this whole make-believe world, and there's a lot of them walking the floor, dude. Yeah.
But it's like just like you said, it's a make-believe world, and
Yeah.
for us, like people think, okay, let's put I'm going to put a cliche in it. Do you still
Yeah,
live
but
at home with your parents?
you got to be
Like,
careful with that nowadays, man. I do
yeah,
too. Even my podcast, as unorthodox as the podcast is, and it's not X-rated, but it's definitely not PG either. We kind of walk the line on R and PG-13. I mean, I ask these people that question. I got to be careful because nowadays you can get blasted for just even insinuating the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I
You know
hear
what
you.
I'm saying? You can get
Yeah.
chewed up. And I'm like, but I asked,
But
hey,
it's the right question.
we
It's
had
the question everyone wants to hear.
the girl with her husband. We were, without going into full detail, and she joked around about it with us on the microphone on the recording. Because her husband's right there. I said, so how long you guys been married? She told me 7 years. I said, well, how's this go at home? Does it ever come into play, at the, when you're alone? And she's like, she swore it didn't, but she laughed along with it. Her husband was laughing too. I said, is it like that? Can he order up Daphne or Velma one night and you show up as, because you're really good at what you do, you know what I mean? And she was laughing along with it. And the next day I edited the podcast and I put it up on the air, and I got a call from the guy that runs the Comic-Con convention. He's like, hey man, she's pretty upset about that interview. I go, what do you mean? She said, oh, she didn't like the adult conversation about her and her husband. And I'm like, well, why don't she just say something? She
Yeah,
could have
like,
said
hey,
something right there. She could have said it when we turned the mics off. But she, to her, the whole thing is an art form. And now this same girl was dressed up the previous day as Tinkerbell. And she was a really nice looking Tinkerbell, okay? Any guy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't think you're dressing hot, what's going on in your head? You know what I mean?
well, yeah, that's the question. I mean, I would ask
Imagination in our
like,
form, and passion is the word she throws at me. Okay, I respect that. That's why I give you the microphone to explain yourself.
yeah,
It's a crazy world, man.
the world is crazy, man. Like we talk about it. I was to some people today about like trajectory in life. Like if you make a choice, like
Yeah,
you could be heading this way, but one choice can just like throw you off the path, and you're just like, whew,
that's the fear.
life is crazy.
That's the fear, man.
It is not easy.
It's not easy. Running a business isn't easy. Like I said, getting back to what we were talking about, in this day and age, there's so many different ways to market, and what's right for my company and your company might be different. And that's my biggest struggle. If you were going to rewind this thing back a couple of minutes ago, that's my biggest struggle, is what's the best way to market
Yeah,
business and what I do, given that it's a jungle and there's a lot of people selling what I sell. That's my biggest struggle. You know what I mean?
it's a doggy dog world out there.
Doggy dog world. I'm trying to be the gorilla, I'm trying to be, just dress up as the gorilla and walk around the convention halls or something, man. You know what I mean? It's a good idea, right? So there you go.
So what do you guys have next for the Hub Show? Who's coming on next? What's the next topic?
I actually got a guy who he was in the public education system here in Maryland. He stopped to open his own nonprofit, helping kids after school programs and whatnot, but it's called the Beacon House. I was pretty impressed with him. He's it's not just a drop-off place like a boys and girls club. It's literally, he's got an agenda. Like he's got a computer lab, and he's done a lot of work to get his nonprofit approved, and he's trying to like franchise it a bit, but he has a set of parameters. It's really education related. Now I know that's not a funny topic, but we will make it fun and have a good time with him about it. There's that. I got some other stuff. I got a guy named Jairus. Here, where's his business card? Right here. Jairus of all, master of none. He's a YouTube star with like 240,000. With like 240,000 YouTube followers, man.
Really?
He does a lot of it. Yeah, I met him at the Comic-Con here, local one. He's like MacGyver. He just builds stuff. He builds weapons, flamethrowers, and he makes the claws. He makes all kinds of props and stuff. The claws for what's his name on Wolverine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
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 he
yeah.
does all this crazy stuff. He has a YouTube channel, Gyrus of All. Yeah. He's
Wait,
gonna
wait,
come
wait.
on. He's coming on our show in 2 weeks, man. He's gonna lay out
Really?
some weapons and show us what's up, and yeah, have a
What's he
good time.
building flamethrowers and
Hey,
claws for?
you go to his YouTube page, Jairus of All, Jairus of All. This guy's got it. He's out in his backyard blowing stuff up, and yeah,
Really?
got a lot of followers. You love him. Yeah, it's nuts, man.
What's the end game for that? Like, what's his goal? Like,
I don't
just
know. I'll ask him. I'll let you know when I find out.
Yeah. Can he sell like a flamethrower to someone?
I don't know what
Is
he
that
does.
legal?
It's pretty cool, man. He had his own room to himself. He has his own room to himself at the Comic-Con. He had all these different props and tools and stuff and weapons laid out.
Really?
It was really wild, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna check him out. That's it.
Yeah.
That is wild. That's
He's
life, man.
nuts.
We're talking about craziness and life,
So I'm gonna go
Comic-Con
from
and life and
education
business.
to that, and then I'm gonna have a chef on after the new year. A guy who's been on the Food Network. He was on that Beat Bobby Flay show. He's a local guy around here. He's gonna be on my show in January. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, the Hub Show, it has no definition to it. Come on
You
and
guys
have
are all
fun,
over the
man.
place. You
It's
guys
all
are
over the
doing it,
place.
man.
I know, we're
You guys are
trying.
doing it. Talk about wrestling, roller derby,
Yeah,
chef,
wrestling.
sleep.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
man, come on.
I can have a legit like 3-minute conversation about this and go.
I got a
I'll blow your
30-minute
mind away.
conversation. I'll blow your mind away. I'm older than you, I bet.
I'm telling you,
I
I'll go back to the
I go back
trenches.
a ways with wrestling. You don't even know.
The Iron
No.
Sheik,
I go back to that.
Bob Backlund.
All that. I love Bob Backlund.
Everyone knows.
Right here, man.
Technical, man. The
I love
technical
him.
guy.
I love Bob Backlund. People that. Hey, I'll say this, man. I haven't watched. I was a huge wrestling fan, even as an adult. The Attitude Era, the whole thing, the Stone Cold, the Rock, all that stuff. Like
I'm going like way back. I'm talking like the Macho Man,
I go way back too.
the Ultimate Warrior.
I don't know. I wasn't big on him, but I go way back. I don't know. I go Bob Backlund. I know my history. Bruno Sammartino, all that stuff, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my dad's from New York. So I moved around as a kid as a military brat, but we landed in New England in like 1983 when I was 10 years old. So we turned on wrestling, and there's Bob Backlund. He was still champion. This is before the whole Hulkamania thing took off, but this was like, after Thunder Lips, Rocky 3. I go back to all that stuff, man. I grew up in the 80s, man. MTV, Cyndi Lauper, Piper's Pit. You know the weird thing about today is pro wrestling is still huge and big, the WWE, but it ain't wrestling anymore, man. If you have to be politically correct, there's no way you can. I don't understand it. You cannot get away with the stuff we grew up on today and on TV today.
Oh, you're absolutely right. But think about like
Jimmy Snuka or Wild Samoans. You couldn't have that on TV today. Oh my God, there'd be protests outside the building, man.
But think about the genius to the people at WWE. Like they have evolved. Like
have
they're
they
like,
though? Have they evolved? I'm a
it's
fan.
still huge.
I know, and I don't understand why. Because I have a 12-year-old son. Okay, when you and I were 12, we were watching wrestling, right? Huge.
Yeah.
I have a 12-year-old son with a whole group of kids. Not one mention of wrestling from them. Does John Cena? They don't care. I'm telling you, man. I've watched my kid. He was born in 2006. And I've watched my other son. He's older. He's born in '98. They both grew up. Not one mention of wrestling.
Really? Not even like a brief stint of being like, hey, let's get into wrestling?
Nothing. Hey, Dad, let's watch Monday Night Raw. Nothing. They've never even, and none of their friends have ever even mentioned it. So I don't understand. I mean, I know it's huge. Globally, it's huge. I get that.
It's huge.
I went cold turkey on pro wrestling in the stands at WrestleMania 21, like a lot of people my age did. I know it for a fact because of the internet. But I went cold turkey in Los Angeles at WrestleMania 21 when they first put the belt on John Cena. I was watching it live in the stands. And a lot of us were like, we weren't getting what was being shoved down our throats. You know what I mean? There was something missing. Everyone I know my age and whatnot, my age generation said it. I know a lot of people who turned off wrestling, and I was a huge wrestling fan. They were getting my money. You know what I mean? Stone Cold, The Rock. I was into all that shit as an adult. You know what I mean?
They got you for a long time, though. Because they had you for how many years? The WWE, WWF, WWE. How long did they have you? They had you for a while.
Since the 80s, since before Hulkamania. I'm not saying I was dumping all my money into it, but I was there every Monday night watching that stuff, man. And then I would tune in once in a while. Since then, that was 2005. I would tune in once in a while just to get caught up. And the thing happened with Chris Benoit. That was nuts. I used to love him, a good wrestler. Then the wrestlers started dying. You know what I mean? Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit passed. And I was huge on Brock Lesnar, his first run. I watched him when they brought him back, so I tried to tune him back in and get him back into it. I don't know. It was cool for a minute, but
that's from 1983 to 2005. Like you were
22-year wrestling fan, dude.
Yeah, you were in it, and then like you were dabbling.
A lot of guys my age, the same thing. I heard it from a lot of people. They said the same thing. It just like it plateaued at some point, and it's just like I can't really
going strong.
I know that you still watch it.
I don't watch it.
When's the last time? When did you start watching it?
It was when I was a kid. It was like a staple in my house. I had an older brother.
No.
So it was just like when it was on ABC, it'd be like, all right, we got WrestleMania. Like everyone watched. The whole neighborhood watched WrestleMania. We'd go to school and talk about wrestling.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about as an adult. I know it's all what it is, but it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But it was, there was a time like in my high school, I stopped watching it for a while. Like you mentioned Ultimate Warrior, I rolled my eyes because that's around the time I put it down. I was a teenager, got other things going on in my life, you know what I mean? Then I went to the military and whatnot. Then one day I turned on just to catch up and see, hey, what are they doing on wrestling? And there was Razor Ramon and all these guys, and Undertaker and stuff like that. So it already changed a bit. Then I got it back into it in the mid-'90s with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. And then, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin came out. Whole thing took off, and The Rock. That was fun to watch, man. Good times, I got free tickets to WrestleMania 20. Took a red eye from L.A. to New York. Got to go watch that in the Garden, the Madison Square Garden. That was fun. Good times. Couldn't beat that.
That's the thing. Like, where did you see the last WrestleMania? WrestleMania 21. Where was that?
L.A. In my backyard. So, yeah.
Think about that. In the Staples Center.
Yep.
All right. They're playing in major arenas, Staples Center, Madison Square Garden. Like that's the mecca of sports.
Well, yeah, that's why I made the trip. A red eye from LA. I said, dude, I got free tickets. There's no way we're not going to go see. I got another buddy of mine, same age, was in the wrestling. And we flew all the way out there. We walked 7th Avenue in the freezing cold that Sunday, just waiting for the place to open, man.
I tell you, they're still going strong. I mean, they've captured
a
market, and they that's something to really study. Look at the WWE model of marketing.
No, I'm a fan. I'm going to say a fan. I'll say fan, but there's a couple of business people I try to keep up with. And Vince McMahon is one of them because that man he's still going.
Yeah, he's still going strong.
I'm not saying WWE's going to shut down and close. I just don't understand because I've raised 2 kids and not one word of wrestling has come out of their mouth or their friends. So I don't get it. And kids come out of their school. I don't see any John Cena shirts. All these years I haven't seen kids who are really into it. Like when we were growing up, it's just I don't know.
I don't understand. I don't know if it's like has to do with like phones and social media and all that stuff. But there's something to it, and that's you talk to the people at WWE, they'll probably be like, "Oh, no, they'll rattle off.
Tell you what they want to hear, what you want to hear. Yeah. I'm sure
they'll rattle off a bunch of other things. But I'll tell you what, a company that is exploding right now is that UFC.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I know people who don't even like sports.
To watch that.
Who watch that? Who are like in love with UFC.
Are you a devout fan of it or?
I watch it. I'm
the same way. I watch it casually. Like if a buddy of mine is paying for the pay-per-view, I'll go watch it. But I ain't gonna take money out of my own pocket, man.
I'm not like I can't rattle off. I don't know. 20 fighters. I could rattle off.
That's it. I'm the same way.
Top guys, I could be like, oh, this guy's fighting. Oh, Conor McGregor's fighting. Okay, let's watch.
We did the podcast, the Hub Show. If you go back a couple episodes, we did Fight Night. We have it on in the background. And we're actually doing commentary over the commentary. And all the way to the end, the whole controversial end in there. I got everyone's reaction to that on the whole podcast. It was funny,
Conor McGregor's last fight?
The one, with what was his name?
Habib.
Habib, and then he jumped over the thing and went after the hoopla at the end of the fight after the fight was over.
Yeah, that guy, Habib's a real deal. He's a tank. He's a fighter.
So, I'm sitting there with a bunch of people cheering for McGregor. I'm like you. I'm kind of like, I'm a casual fan, whatever, but I'm getting all this reaction from people. Then McGregor started to lose, and then the whole tone of the place changed. So it was fun. It is what it is.
Yeah, that guy, Conor McGregor, he's a spectacle. He's a good marketer. He knows exactly what he's
He
doing.
knows he watched a lot of wrestling. You can tell.
Yeah, he knows.
That's
Yeah,
what
he
that's
knows.
where that comes from, dude.
And he had that fight with Floyd Mayweather where he made
Yeah,
a lot of money too. So he
he
knows
knows
what
what to
he's doing
do.
with
He
his
knows what
career.
he's doing. So is Floyd. Floyd's no dummy, man.
No, he's not. You know,
No.
those guys know exactly what they're doing.
Hey, my wife's Filipina, so I've trained at the Wild Card Gym in LA where Pacquiao trained with,
Yeah,
and
Pacquiao, he's still fighting.
so, but
I give those guys a lot of credit though. Like they
Mhm.
sell their fights and they when they show up, they perform though.
No, they do. But like I'm saying, I was in the last couple of Pacquiao fights with a room full of Filipinos. In the last one against Mayweather, it got really quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It got really
That's what, well,
quiet. I'm
I,
like,
I guarantee when Manny Pacquiao opened up that check, he's a pretty
well,
happy man. He probably lose a
he's a
little bit
happy
of
guy.
pain, but
Yeah,
he was
but
probably like, it's not so bad.
yeah, but that fight with Floyd Mayweather, it was a big letdown. And I was like, well, I know for him, right? But
Yeah, for the fans watching it, it's a letdown.
yes,
But
for the
for
room
when you,
full of Filipinos, it wasn't a fun night, man. It started out great. It got
no
really
doubt.
quiet quick, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of
Floyd,
beer left over.
that man's on a different level.
Yep.
But I mean, we
Yeah.
can go on and on and on and on and
See,
on.
here we go, man. We're drifting.
Yeah, no, we're drifting. So Jay, let's wrap this thing up, man. Leave us with some parting words.
Keep
plug.
your head up. Hustle Island. Keep your head up, man.
Keep your head up, right?
Just
Keep your head up and keep plugging
strive
away.
to be the best at what you do. Keep your head up. Roll the punches, and put yourself around other people, like-minded people. You know what I mean? Keeps you motivated. Keeps you moving.
That's it.
That's it, man.
That's it right there. And how about the Hub Show? Throw a plug out there. Where
Hub
can we
Show,
catch it?
Center of the Universe. It's everywhere. iTunes, Google Play on your Android. It's on Spotify, iHeartRadio. And I'm more than open to having some guests on. We haven't done it yet like you're doing. But if we open to it, we're technically inclined. We can also plug in the phone and talk to you from wherever you are. You want to talk up your business, talk up your efforts, your goals, your concerns.
You heard that, hustlers?
Bring it on, man. The Hub Show.
The Hub Show. Well, Jay, you said it all. A man of the people.
I try. I try.
You're trying. You're doing.
Don't try it.
A hustler. You're a real hustler. You're doing
Hustler's
it.
world, man.
You're hustling.
Yeah.
You're motivated. Exponent USA. You're delivering. You're hustling and you're delivering. You're performing. And I just want to say thank you for joining the program today.
Hey, thanks,
Real
Mike. Thanks for
hustlers.
having me, man.
Real hustlers, real stories. Hey, tell the people where they could find you on the internet.
On the internet, a couple places. Of course, exponetusa.com, EXPONET I'm right there. You can also go to a couple other domains I own that lead you right to it. DisplayJ is one of them, displayj.com. Take you right to me as well. But then there's the Hub Show, thehubshow.com. Yeah, I got all these domains. Thehubshow.com. I'm there. Again, you can also hear it on your iTunes, Android, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. SoundCloud, we're there. And that's what I do.
Boom. I love it, man.
Boom.
Hey, thanks for joining the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I want to jump on that Hub Show too, so we'll have to set that up as well.
We'll set you up for 2019. I got
Let's
some
go.
slots. We're filling up January, but maybe the end of it, maybe February. And we'll see what we can do.
That's cool. That works for me, man.
Rock and roll.
All right, Jay. Thanks for joining the program.
You take care.
Real Hustlers, Real Story, the Hustle Island podcast. Check us out today, hustleisland.com. See you guys.
Later.